The traditional instrument, though, didn't fit where you were going.
Jean-Luc Ponty and all the great electric players were playing a painted acoustic violin, right? And under the chin, which gets very awkward and very stiff and tense. And when I would see Jimmy Page and Hendrix, man, he was burning his guitar. I was like, this guy has a relationship with his instrument that we don't see in classical string playing. Very serious. You never see these violin players smile. Everything's really serious. And then I would go see the Allman Brothers and go see Clapton. And these guys were just so expressive physically. So I was like, okay, I got to get rid of this thing called the chin rest and the shoulder pad, which locks your jaw like this. And it was just, I had to change it. So I started to build, and my father's side were woodworkers, which is really cool because my father's, they made religious furniture for temples and churches. And the most famous client, which is now on display at the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. this summer, was Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart came to my father's and uncle's studios in 1935 in Port Washington, Long Island, which is where I grew up before I was born. And they built this chest for her and furniture specifically for her world trip. And unfortunately, she disappeared with it. It's at the Smithsonian Institute, and this summer they just polished it up and it's on display. So I grew up with a wood shop. When I left Juilliard, my mother was like, what are you going to do with your life? All of my sons, my brothers, are classical musicians, successful, brilliant musicians. Me, I wanted to be, Jimi Hendrix or Van Halen. And I ended up living at my father's art studio. And when the workmen left at night, I would go into the shop. I had no clue how to build, no sense of luthier. I had no clue. So I put together the weirdest violins, which are hanging. I'll show you a couple of them. And I was like, I got to figure out how to hold this instrument without this, a self-supporting. So one of the first ones I built, I'll grab it over here, was my mother freaked out when she saw this, and she was going to disown me. She was very religious. I was like, Mom, check this out. So it's a violin with a hand, right? Carved exactly to my hand. And I was like, how am I going to put the string? Oh, I know. I'll put a knife through the arm, and then the strap went around my neck like this, and it held itself up. I was like, oh my God. So every time, so I joined a rock band, and every gig, once a week, I would premiere a new electric violin. I had a violin with a barrel at the end of it where I'd shoot bottle rockets out of the violin over the audience's heads. And that changed everything. In classical concerts, very polite applause. In a rock club, they're screaming. And I felt this energy from the audience I've never felt. I was like, this is where I need to be because these people have never seen anything like what I was doing. And it was a great, great start for me as a musician to combine my ability to build. I've got a set of glow instruments, and my final instrument is my Viper, which is this, which is a 7-string. It's got the entire orchestra, bass, cello, viola, violin. If you let me know when you're ready to, I can play a little for you.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, this is an instrument that a lot of electric players are playing in the world. And I'll share with you what that feels like for me to go out. And I have a music camp in the summer where we have 2 rock orchestras and we have 150 kids show up playing my instrument.
Wow.
How mind-blowing.
Yeah,
I look
no
out
kidding.
and I said, wow. So the traditional violin has 4 strings. And I put a viola string on, a cello, and bass. So I was like, oh, I got the entire orchestra. I don't have to play the cello like this. I have on my... But then with my pedal board, and I was like, oh, I can play Hendrix. And then I discovered the real secret weapon called distortion. And with the bow, I'm able to get that sustain that guitar players always are trying to get. And I was like, oh, I got a bow. You guys don't have the bow part. So I'm able to do. I can be so expressive because of the bow. So that's a little demonstration.
Wow, very cool. Thank you. I'm curious about the amplification that you used. What you're feeding it is different than a guitar. So I would imagine that your needs would be different.
Very much so. Again, remember, guitars have a magnetic pickup. Very different technology. The magnet picks up the movement of the string this way for a guitar. You hit it, the string goes this way. The bow hits the string, and it doesn't move at all, except it vibrates very quickly. So the magnetic pickup does not work on a bowed instrument. So we use something called transducers. And the pickup that's on my 7-string is built by a great, great luthier, Rich Barbera, which have piezos under each string. So it's critical that the pickup is the best possible, and it's also wood on wood. There's no metal that's interacting with my pickups. It's all wood because the vibration of the bridge and the body together resonates to a rich tone. As you can hear it when I play cleanly, that's actually how the instrument sounds. And then I discovered distortion, and I was like, oh, this is what those guitar players have been talking about. And I've got a secret weapon. I don't know if you remember, I bought, because they're not made anymore, but at the NAMM show, if you know the NAMM show, right?
Sure, yeah.
I would go every year for 25 years with my booth and my instruments. And Mr. Zoom, if you remember Zoom.
Yeah.
And this, in fact, Bobby, this is the first time I've ever shared it with any press. This is the secret weapon. It's noisy, it's analog, it's horrible sounding with a guitar plugged in. And they don't build them anymore, of course. Because I met Mr. Zoom from Japan. He came to the NAMM show. They said, man, your Zoom Pro is awesome. Check it out. He was blown away. And he asked me, Mark, so how many will we sell to violin players? One, me. I said, well, I can't run a business like that. I don't know if you remember Zoom back then.
Yeah.
But it didn't work as well with guitar. But man, it's awesome. So I buy most of them off the internet, so no one has the same sound that I do.